Hey, good evening, everybody. Blitzball Champ is back with a brand new video here on the U to the 2. It's time for more pro wrestling talk. It's Friday, which means time for some pro wrestling talk. Gonna talk about a couple of things. Gonna talk a little bit of Stardom. Gonna talk New Japan Cup. Gonna talk a little AEW. Gonna talk a little WWE as well. So we got a good bit to cover. So let's hop right on into it. Starting with Stardom. So so far not a whole lot has happened on Stardom. I know we got to see Julia debut her new look since getting her head shaved after losing the Wonder of Stardom championship to Tam Nakano. Um, Went up against Gokiken Death, beat her. I do notice that Julia, I don't know if it's just me, but she did not seem as aggressive as she usually is. Normally she's extra aggressive, but honestly, she was kind of chill in this match. I mean, this wasn't a long match, but she was kind of chill and even gave Gokiken Death a handshake and was like, "This isn't normal for Julia." But I mean, she still got the victory. I just thought it was really interesting. She didn't seem as aggressive or as ruthless as normally Julia can be. But I guess it is what it is. I mean, she's literally starting from the bottom and gonna work her way back up into the title picture, and who knows? Something tells me she might end up working herself into the World of Stardom championship picture. I mean, only time will tell, but we'll see. Um, of course, we had an Artist of Stardom trios match. It was Cosmic Angels against Stars, and this was actually a really great match. It's a really great match. Ultimately, the leader and new Wonder of Stardom champion Tam Nakano got the Tiger Suplex pin on Starlight Kid, but had a successful title defense, and of course, it's good to see Mina Shirakawa back. We got the whole crew of Cosmic Angels back in action, so really happy to see that. And it's also been booked that Queen's Quest will get the next Artist of Stardom Trios title shot, apparently March 26th at Korakuen Hall. So, and to be specific, that would be Queen's Quest of Momo Watanabe, Azumi, and Saya Kamitani, who those three just recently won a three-way elimination match against Donna Del Mundo and Oedo Tai. So yeah, they pretty much earned the trios title shot. But yeah, it's definitely good to see the full Cosmic Angels back. Mina Shirakawa came back from a broken nose. She made her return at the All Star Dream Cinderella, but it was definitely good to see her back and just the whole crew. But they got some Stardom shows coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I believe Shinjuku, I believe. So got that to look forward to, and actually, Himeka and Maika, the Goddess of Stardom tag team champions, are scheduled to defend those tag titles against Unagi Sayaka and Mina Shirakawa. So they're gonna get a Goddess tag title shot. So they got a chance to win more gold. I don't think it's gonna happen, but should be a good match. And I know lately they've been uploading some old Stardom shows as well, like apparently from back in 2017 with like Shayna Baszler and Chris Wolf and Deonna Purrazzo and Tony Storm and Kairi Hojo and Io Shirai. So that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have from Stardom. I mean, like I said, aside from the Artists of Stardom trios title match, not a whole lot going on. But this is good stuff. This is good stuff. And I believe, actually, either this Saturday or Sunday, Hanan from Stars is supposed to be returning. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. You know, they'll be getting a member of Stars returning. So, you know, that'll increase their squad a little bit. But actually, yeah, this Saturday, Hanan is returning. So, hey, that's cool. I don't know when Jungle Kiona will finally return, or Sumire, Natsu Sumire, but yes, it's good to see some of our folks are starting to return. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, let's move on to New Japan. New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, just let's take a look at the updated bracket. You know, we've had a lot of matches. Pretty much the whole entire first round has been completed, and they started yesterday a little bit on the second round. So let's go. Let's just go over the bracket. So we know Jeff Kah defeated Satoshi Kojima. So this is first round. So Jeff Kah defeated Satoshi Kojima. The Great O-Khan got the big upset over Tetsuya Naito. Toru Yano got the victory over Bad Luck Fale. Hiroki Goto got the victory over Taichi. Shingo Takagi got the big upset victory over Kazuchika Okada. Minoru Suzuki got the victory over Tomoaki Honma. And Kenta got the victory over Juice Robinson. And then we had Will Ospreay get the victory over Hiroshi Tenzan. Zack Sabre Jr. with the victory over Gabriel Kidd. Yuji Nagata, the victory over Yota Tsuji. Sonata got the victory over Tomohiro Ishii, which was a really good match. Dave Finley got the victory over Chase Owens, which actually was a surprisingly good match as well. Yoshihashi got the victory over Yujiro Takahashi. Jay White got the victory over Toa Henare. So, our second round matchups. So, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the ones that already took place. So, it was Evil versus Jeff Kah. Now, this was an intriguing matchup. Very intriguing matchup, and it definitely delivered. It was the main event of the March 11th show, and definitely delivered, but there was a lot of interference, which, I mean, it's Bullet Club. Of course there's going to be a lot of interference. But it was definitely back and forth, and it was a great match between Jeff Kah and Evil. Two pretty decent-sized guys. But, yeah, definitely a good main event. I think would have surprised a lot of people, but definitely a good main event. But Evil was able to get the victory and advance to the quarterfinals. We had another second round matchup. Toru Yano took on the Great O-Khan, which, I mean, I thought it was going to be shorter than it was. That was at least like a 13 or 14 minute match. But Toru Yano gets the victory over the Great O-Khan. It seemed like it was kind of a bummer, especially considering the Great O-Khan just beat Naito. So, I mean, not to say that Toru Yano's not capable of, you know, the shenanigans and everything to get the victory, but I don't know. The Great O-Khan beating Naito and then losing to Toru Yano just... that's gotta sting. That's really gotta sting. So, so that's your first quarterfinal final matchup determined. So Evil will take on Toru Yano in the quarterfinals. That ought to be weird. That ought to be really weird. Let's see. Our next second round matchup, we got Hiroki Goto versus Shingo Takagi. That should be really good. I'm actually looking forward to that one. That one should be really good. We got Minoru Suzuki versus Kenta. That should be really good. I'm really liking these second round matchups. They're very intriguing. But Minoru Suzuki versus Kenta, that should be good. Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. should be really good. Definitely a clash of two different styles. This should be interesting. This should be really interesting. We got Yuji Nagano versus Sonata. Should be good, but I'm pretty sure Sonata's going to win that. Dave Finley versus Yoshihashi. Kind of intriguing. Actually kind of intriguing. Not two names going against each other, I would imagine. So that could be a sleeper. That could be a sleeper. And then Jay White versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. I mean, that's not a new matchup. It's not a new matchup at all. So, but yeah, these second round matchups I'm really liking. I'm liking these second round matchups. So, as it gets into the weekend and then into next week, will definitely be interesting to see what our quarterfinal matchups will look like after these with these second round matchups. But tournament's pretty cool, pretty good so far. Definitely enjoying it. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's talk some AEW. Now, of course, you know, they had the show post Revolution. Couple of things I wanted to mention. First off, that match between Matt Jackson and Rey Fenix was solid. And just even more builds up towards their tag team title shot when Death Triangle will face the Young Bucks. I think that'll be a phenomenal match. You know, looks like Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley are cool now. A very interesting angle that happened. So, Penta El Cielo Mero interrupted Cody's interview after his match and pretty much dissed Cody. I mean, talk mad smack. Especially with how their the ladder match went at AEW Revolution. And now these two are going to be brawling. These two have a storyline now. Very, very interesting. Especially when Penta talked junk about Cody Rhodes, saying that, you know, you'd hurt him so much that he wouldn't be able to pick up his child that's on the way. And that just sparked Cody to just go out of the ring, leave the ring, and just make a beeline for Penta. And so yeah, this is intriguing. A feud between Cody Rhodes and Penta El Cielo Mero. This should be interesting. Should be interesting. Best friends of Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy pretty much wanted one more match. One more match with Miro, which I assume will be Miro and Kip Sabian. And if they lose, Chuck Taylor has to be his butler forever. For good. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure Best Friends will win and Chuck Taylor won't be Miro's butler. And I'm thinking maybe it's possible when that happens, maybe we'll see a returning Trent Beretta. Maybe he'll get involved. But who knows? But I'm pretty sure, regardless, they won't lose that match. Because the stakes are that high, they won't lose that match. Had a weird segment with Lance Archer interrupting Sting and then just walking out. And then not too long after that, Sting walking out, finishing the interview. The same tunnel. I just thought that was really weird. Let's see. Adam Page, Hangman. Got a new riding lawnmower now that he's got more money after winning the big money match. And the Dark Order, celebrating with him. So I thought that was pretty cool. Seemed that Christian Cage and Kenny Omega almost came to blows. Kenny Omega, Good Brothers, Don Callis came out. Don Callis was talking mad smack with everything that happened with Moxley and with the little weak explosion from the barbed wire death match. So I thought that was neat. Eddie Kingston came down and, it was just really interesting how they were trying to embarrass and insult him. And, of course, Eddie Kingston was going to eventually throw a punch, which he did. Moxley came down, and eventually Christian came down, got face to face with Kenny Omega. Was going to hit him with the unprettier, or as I like to call from back in ECW, kill switch. But, I just really, really hope. I really hope that just instantly. I hope that instantly. Oh, excuse me. Let me reword that. Let me reword that. I hope that they don't instantly give Christian a title shot at the AEW Championship. They need to let him have some matches first. Build him up. Let him have some matches first. Because I'm already not liking the idea of him coming into AEW and then he's instantly thrown into a title match. No. Let Christian get some matches in. Let him get built up. If they're going to do this storyline, give him some matches. Build it up. But we'll see what happens. I just hope he doesn't instantly just get a title shot. Because that would be ridiculous. That'd be really ridiculous. It was good to see the trios women's match. Shida, Ryo Mizunami, Thunder Rosa were able to get the victory over Nyla Rose, Maki Ito, and Dr. Britt Baker. I thought it was so funny that even when the faces came in to attack the heels as during their entrance or after their entrance, Maki Ito was still doing her entrance as everybody else was fighting. She was still performing, and then eventually Shida interrupted. But I thought that was so funny that she was still doing her performance while the brawling was going on. But ultimately, Thunder Rosa pinned Maki Ito, got the victory for the team, but then at the end of the day, Britt Baker was able to get the last laugh after locking in lockjaw on the Thunder Rosa. So we know that it's not over. It's not over yet with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. It's not over yet. So we'll see what happens. I know they're supposed to face each other next week, I believe. So that should be good. So Matt Hardy, Big Money Matt, well, maybe not currently, ended up recruiting the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny into the Hardy Empire. And I'm thinking to myself, well, dang. I guess they don't love Eddie Kingston anymore. I guess he ain't part of the family anymore. Dang, they just left Eddie Kingston, but oh well. We had ourselves a really good TNT championship match as Scorpio Sky went up against Darby Allin. Really, really good match. And it could have gone either way. I was really thinking that Scorpio Sky was possibly going to win, considering there were talks that Darby Allin was injured. But I'm guessing it was minor injury or whatnot. I don't know. But the end of the match was great. It was definitely back and forth. Um, Darby reversed a TKO attempt and was able to get the pin to retain the title. Um, and then afterwards, Darby with the cheap shot, hooking in a heel hook on Darby Allin, and there we go, a heel turn, Scorpio Sky. That should be interesting. Should definitely be interesting. But yeah, he turns heel, and I'm sure that feud will not be over anytime soon. But the big moment of AEW. So let's run it down. Inner Circle had their war council, and Chris Jericho was doing his thing. MJF interrupted, and he came to the conclusion that Inner Circle needed a new member. Back comes a returning Sammy Guevara with some footage for Jericho. Showed the footage, and it showed MJF striking up a deal with Santana and Ortiz to pretty much ditch Jericho, set him up. Actually, it was Santana, Ortiz, and Jake Hager to pretty much get rid of Jericho. And then as MJF gave the signal for Ortiz and Santana and Jake Hager to attack Jericho after he saw the footage and everything, they backed down and sided with Jericho. So it's pretty much everybody in the Inner Circle against MJF. Got him locked in a corner, cowering, and then he said the line that shocked the whole entire ring and everybody in attendance. MJF says, "Hear me out, Chris. I swear I didn't want to take over your group, and it's because I was too busy building my own." Now, the lights went out. As soon as the lights came back on, behind the Inner Circle, you saw FTR, Tully Blanchard, Shawn Spears, and Wardlow. And they jumped the Inner Circle. Took him out. Then they just unloaded on Jericho. Here's my thing. The lights out thing is getting a little excessive. It's getting a little excessive. Like, they could have really... I think they could have had a better way of executing that. Because I don't know. The lights go out, and then you see that. I mean, it's not like Wardlow was ever against MJF. He was with MJF the whole entire time, so we can't really be surprised that Wardlow is one of them. I mean, FTR and Tully Blanchard, maybe. But, that's not anything to brag about. And, I mean, these are very talented. This is a very talented group, but it's not exactly much for big names in this faction. But hey, I think overall it was a pretty well executed plan. And I wonder what the name is going to be, the name of the faction. But you got MJF, Tully Blanchard, FTR, and Shawn Spears now feuding with the Inner Circle. But at least Sammy Guevara's back, so hey, looks like everything is cool with him. But But yeah, Jericho got busted open, got hit with the diamond ring, got hit with Jericho's bat. Like, that was a pretty neat way to end. Pretty neat way to end AEW. Just MJF. Whew. Now we got another faction war. Should be good though. Should be good. This is what I'm hoping. But that's pretty much all I have for AEW. Looking at a little WWE. Still no signs of Asuka returning, which I'm guessing she may be in concussion protocol, and she did lose some teeth, but I hope Asuka's all right, and I hope they're able to get something for her upon her return, or just soon, some sort of update, because Fastlane's almost here. So they got to figure something out. But The Miz got a rematch for the WWE title. I don't know why, because I honestly thought rematch clauses were supposed to be done with, but it's WWE, so obviously not the case. But Bobby Lashley once again destroyed The Miz. Really not a fan of Shane McMahon doing the whole ridiculing Ring Around the Rosie mess with Braun Strowman. That's just dumb. I really don't know what they're doing there, but it's just dumb. It's just really dumb. Of course, Drew and Sheamus went at it. Nothing new. And Shayna and Nia defended the tag titles against Naomi and Lana, and they were able to retain. Alexa Bliss is just still playing the games with Randy Orton, made him cough up that nasty mess again, and then he ate a phenomenal forearm from AJ Styles in their main event match, which was good. It was definitely a good match. But Raw was kind of So, didn't really see anything special there. NXT had a big night. Had a couple of things. So let's dig into some NXT. So there were some announcements made. First off, for the first time ever, NXT Takeover, the next takeover in April, Stand and Deliver, will be a two-night, Wednesday and Thursday. I believe it said, Wednesday and Thursday. Will be a two-night takeover. First time ever in NXT history. So, I think that's a great idea. I think that's pretty neat. If you ask me, I think it would be nice to showcase one night for the women and one night for the men. I think that'd be cool. And I do expect all the titles to be defended, including this newest one, which I'll get to in a second. But I expect for all the titles to be defended, and I expect the NXT Championship to be the main event of one of those nights, probably night 2. And I expect the NXT Women's Championship to be the main event of night 1. I think that's only fair. I think that is the best way to go about it. Now, for the new titles. So, I kind of had mixed feelings about this, but after thinking about it, it kind of makes sense. So, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez were summoned to the ring. Mr. William Regal was like, I know how the match y'all had ended. So screw it. We're going to give you tag titles. We're going to give you NXT Women Tag Team titles. And he unveiled the newest women's tag titles specific to NXT. And Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez were crowned the first champions. And then it did not take long afterwards for them to be challenged by Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart for those titles. So what was supposed to be a 2-title match episode of NXT ended up turning into a 3-title match NXT. And we saw the newest NXT Women's Tag Champions defend against Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. And sure enough, we got new NXT Women Tag Team Champions, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. So just like that, in just under an hour or two, after Raquel and Dakota won the tag titles, was awarded, bestowed upon, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart defeat them in their first defense to win the tag titles. I have mixed feelings about this. Number one, I still really feel like, up to this point, I feel like Dakota Kai kind of keeps getting done dirty. I mean, she's been a part of NXT for a long while now. And like I said, I know she went through the ACL recovery and came back and it was all cool. Had the big heel turn and that's been cool. But I really would have thought by now Dakota Kai would have had a title run or just some sort of big success. And I just feel like, yeah, they won the Dusty Tag Classic and, was awarded the first NXT women's tag titles. But I just feel like Dakota's been done dirty when it comes to the singles picture. But I will say this. I think them pulling this move will lead towards them eventually splitting. But we'll see what happens. It did lead to Io Shirai, which I'll get in a second. Got to cover this part. First match, Io Shirai defending the NXT Women's Championship against Toni Storm. And it was a good match. A lot of thickness in that match. But Io Shirai, not only did she get the victory, she made Toni Storm tap out. Something I did not think was going to happen. I thought she was going to win with the moonsault like she usually does. But nah, she made Toni Storm tap out the crossface. Did not see that coming, nor did I see her getting hit with a Storm Zero and kicking out. But because it happened, I figured probably was going to kick out. But it was a great match between these two ladies. Toni Storm and Io Shirai are very familiar with each other. They put together great matches, have great chemistry. But ultimately, Io Shirai retained. And then backstage, she goes to Raquel Gonzalez and says, I want you next. So I think that's a good part of why they probably took the tag titles off of Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, to give her a singles push towards her future title shot at Io. And who knows, maybe she'll get that title shot at Stand and Deliver. We'll see. But we have to remember, she did pin Io Shirai in the War Games match. So we'll have to see how that goes. Of course, Caden Carter had the match with Xia Li, ended in disqualification, where Casey Catanzaro used her crutch on Xia Li. I'm like, she might be invincible, but not against crutch shots, that's for sure. But so it's good to see that rivalry is still going, which will probably last a while. Definitely last a while. But I would like to see Xia Li eventually get in the title picture as well. And of course, we had a epic main event match. Finn Balor defending the NXT Championship against Adam Cole. It was crisp, back and forth, oh so good. Even got an appearance from Kyle O'Reilly to put some fear and shock factor into Adam Cole, which led to him getting defeated by Finn Balor after a coup de grace. And then, of course, afterwards, Kyle O'Reilly had to get him some. Adam Cole tried to low blow him. That won't happen. So they brawled for a bit. Couldn't help but notice that Kyle O'Reilly had like a really big elbow, I think, bursitis. And it was big. It didn't look normal. So I think they said that he was going to be getting surgery on that or something. All I know is you need to get that drained. That thing, whew, that thing was big on his elbow. And then at the end, Karrion Kross shows up. Finn Balor says, "What took you so long?" And I think we're definitely going to have this match at Stand and Deliver. So I think it's safe to say we can expect to see Karrion Kross get his title shot against Finn Balor at Stand and Deliver Takeover. So looking forward to it. Should be good. And I wonder what other matches they're going to build towards. But NXT had a good night. NXT actually had a good night overall. You know, had some cool stuff. Had a title change. Yeah, had a good night. Had a good night. And I know we had NXT UK. Had a mixed tag match. Jenny and Joseph Connors against Jack Stars and Piper Niven. And Piper and Stars got the victory. And but I'm pretty sure that rivalry is not over. But Tyler Bate got a big victory over Dave Mastiff in a Heritage Cup rules match. So that was crazy. That was really crazy. But you know, NXT UK was all right. Tillman made his debut. Made some dude tap out with a crossface. I still wonder when Aoife Valkyrie is going to finally get her title shot. Because like I said, she's still undefeated. She hasn't lost a match. And I'm just hoping they're going to start building towards her finally getting a title shot at Kaylee Ray. So, here's hoping. And then Friday Night SmackDown. Nothing too crazy. I mean, Sami Zayn got another Intercontinental Championship title shot, which, you know, Big E did his job, did the do. Got attacked by Apollo afterwards, but did the do. Still Intercontinental Champion. More and more of a wedge is being driven between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, which is expected. Still don't know why they even have a tag title match at Fastlane. Like, there's no point. There's no point in them having that tag title match. So, they just need to continue to build up their heat and feud en route to the WrestleMania matchup. Because this whole, them getting a tag title shot at Fastlane just makes no sense. It makes no sense. So, yeah. And then Nia Jax took Reginald out shopping, which Shayna didn't look very intrigued or happy to be there. But it was just kind of weird. It's like Nia Jax kind of treats Reginald like he's a Oompa Loompa or something. It just looked weird. It looked really, really weird. But SmackDown was, I don't know. SmackDown just wasn't that big of a deal. Had the contract signing with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, and we got to see a lot of Edge as well. So a match had been announced for next week: Jey Uso versus Edge, and whoever the winner is will be the special enforcer for the Fastlane match between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. So that should be interesting because I believe Fastlane is next Sunday. I think Fastlane is next Sunday. So next week will be the go home week for Raw and SmackDown. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, nothing too crazy on SmackDown this week. Or at least not anything huge. Let's see. It's been said that Andrade has announced his desire to be released by the WWE. Doesn't really surprise me. I mean, they haven't been using the guy. And honestly, Aleister Black needs to do the same thing. He needs to do the same thing. Because they're not gonna be used. They're not gonna be brought back. I don't know when their contracts are up, but I just wish WWE would just stop wasting their time and just let them go. Let them be able to go where they can go and make a living. You know, continue their careers. You know, it's just, don't be petty. Don't be petty for the sake of ratings or keeping certain superstars away from other promotions. Like, don't be petty. You know you're not going to use Andrade or Aleister Black. Just let them go. Vince, just let them go. Sad. It's really, really sad. It's really sad. And Shinsuke Nakamura, he's not even happy right now. He's not happy. So, but yeah, it's really sad. We could have gotten Shinsuke Nakamura versus Aleister Black by now. Do you know how great of a match that would be? That would be a strong style specialty. Shoot, that's main event worthy right there. That's potential match of the year candidate. Shoot. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for tonight's pro wrestling talk. Personally, I think this was kind of a meh week. Outside of New Japan Pro Wrestling, kind of a meh week. But I'm sure things will pick up as we enter into next week. But that's all that I have for now. Like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss a video, and thank you so much for watching. This is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram signing off. Hope everybody has a blessed weekend. See y'all soon.